Heritage Protection Act will likely limit us in our ability to move forward, as they have removed local control on us being able to change the names of lots of things. And unfortunately, it looks like schools might be involved in that. However, as you probably are aware, there are some more discussions within the state about removing some artifacts or some busts or some memorializations of whatever type of person. And there's more conversation just in general about who or what schools, items, monuments, locations are named after. So that is the reason why we're having this discussion. I think it's important that we have an understanding of who our schools are honoring and if we find them to be honorable. So that brings me to our review of the changes of the naming of facilities policy. Because there's going to be such likelihood that we're not able to change names without petitioning the state and then, of course, having their agreement on doing so, I would like us to make sure that we have careful consideration of names going forward, and that we are a lot more intentional about the people or places that we choose to name our schools after. I don't believe that our school name should be generic, and I know that I've received some feedback that our schools should be named generically or numbered or something along those lines. I believe that Nashville has a rich history and that there's lots of people that our schools should be named after that are wonderful examples that we would want our students and faculty to be proud to be teaching under. So it is under, and I hope this is still right. I know that Cameo resent the agenda, but the naming of facilities agenda, naming of facilities changes. It is below, Jamal, if you'll scroll down. But if you are looking at this screen because you pulled up the massive packet from Cameo, it should be page 57. Is there another page there? Oh, no, there's just one of one. Wow.
Ms. Elrod, if you give me 1 sec, I can.
Sure.
Well, it looks like it's getting pulled up. Now it looks like they got it on their end. Looks like Jamal's taking charge.
Yeah. Jamal has a hard job, in my opinion. That's a lot like having to.
David, if you go ahead and resend, because this is the only one.
No, I think if you'll go to the third tab over, the 7/14/20 PDF, there you go.
Okay, so it's on the meeting agenda.
Page 57, I believe.
I believe it's 57. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So as you can see, there's a lot of redlining. So I do hope, colleagues, that you were able to look through it. And if you have any questions before I get started, that might be the easiest way to go, is to first see if there's any questions. So are there any questions? Nope. Okay. All right, then I will go through it. So some of the redlining, truthfully, is because I just want it to be organized in a more concise manner. So some of the redlining is not necessarily a big change from the previous policy. It's just I thought it should go in a better order or should be more clear. So first, it's a definition, which is listed as number 2, as facilities of the school system. So I wanted there to be a definition of what that is. There's been some ongoing discussion about what is considered a facility of a school system, not just in regards of this situation, but just in the past, there's been conversations on is a cafeteria facility of a school, or is this, that, or the other a facility of a school. So I wanted that definition to be clear for everybody. So that's there. And I apologize if you see me flipping through my notes. I have many because I spent a lot of time on this. All right. So that's what the first big change there is number 2. Then as you scroll down to what is marked as number 3 is when a school is to be named, the director of school shall submit the recommendations prior to the selection of an architect. And the director shall seek input from the school personnel, Board of Education, and the public. And that's on the name of the school. That is a change because it's that the name should come before the recommendation of an architect. The thought process there is, though I am not an architect, we have thoughtful approaches to our schools. We don't have cookie cutter school buildings. And so we have thoughtful approaches to those. And so my thought is that at some time, an architect, if a school is named after someone, may want to take some design liberties with that school name. The best example that I could come up with on that is if you name your school Old Hickory, maybe you want the columns to look like trees. And so you have them designed. And so you might want to consider your architect and your designer based upon their ability to take those thoughtful actions if that's what you're looking for in that community, or if the community has voiced that that's what they're looking for. And I should give you a heads up that one of my boys is about to walk through the door. In case you hear somebody shout mama, I apologize, y'all. So that's number 3. Then we're going to scroll down to number 4, if you don't mind, Jamal.
Say it again. Which page?
That's it. You're right there, Jamal. I'm so sorry. Let's see if he comes through still. All right, so the next is number 4, and that's about where schools should be named for. As you can see, the area or the community in which the school is located is staying the same, which is a pretty common practice of ours. And I would say it's become more popular in the past several schools that we've opened of leaning more towards community names instead of names of people. That's usually attributed to the street on which the school is located or a bordering street or community. And then the biggest changes, as you can see, are on C, which is I removed national presidents and governors for the types of schools.
You got this, Rachel Ann. You got this.
We have so many family, y'all. I apologize to the public. I am professional, I promise. So I removed these presidents, governors, and national state officers, and then I changed a lot of the wording there, as you can see. I don't necessarily want to read it all off to you, as I feel like you are capable of doing so, but the big change there was about principal legacy. Principal legacy is some terminology that I got through my research. It came specifically from Yale, and they created it after the shootings. And they created it for Arlington, Virginia schools, and they created it after the church shootings in Charleston. So I thought that it was an important change in some policies within our school systems around the country. And so that's why I included this principal legacy and it being kind of a guiding factor in how we choose people that our schools are named after. So if you don't mind taking a moment to read that and then give me your feedback, if you have any, that would be appreciated because it is kind of a lengthier paragraph. And my children are gone now, so I apologize.
Could we scroll up just a little on the screen so we can see the last line? Thanks.
Are there any thoughts on this or any additions or anything like that that y'all would like to discuss? We're not going to take a vote on this in this meeting. That's not the purpose of this meeting, but I think the majority of this meeting should be dedicated to this change since there's so many of them within this one policy, so many changes.
And I'm assuming this has been thought of, but I think only the state has issue if you name a building after a living person, correct? We in Metro don't have a policy about naming something after a living person, correct?
Correct. It is just the state.
Okay, and so, okay, so this won't interfere with that because this is not state property.
Correct.
Okay, just want to clarify that. That's it.
Okay. All right. All right, Jamal, if you don't mind scrolling me up to number 6. Thank you so much. All right, so once again, number 6 kind of fleshes out more about the definition of facilities of schools. It helps us redefine if you're not a facility of the school system, there's a single, or if you're a single building, those descriptions there. Single buildings on campus have historically been named by the schools. So as you can see here, that very last sentence that starts with any that's in red, I have continued that process through this policy. So single buildings on campuses could be considered, I'm going blank. It could be like alumni buildings, could be stadiums, but those single buildings on facilities or campuses have historically, like I said, been named by the campus or by the people on that campus or school. So I'm continuing that process, but I'm requiring through this policy that if it's done, that the naming of any single building or specific area, like a library, that's named after a living person, of course they don't have to still be living, but they were at some time, will only take effect after they have noticed the school board representative and the school system, which can be Dr. Battle or it can be as somebody that she designates. The thought process behind that is in case there is some type of information that we might know through community input, so that we can relay that back to them if there's something that needs to be considered. But really another good point that I would like to have of that is I would like us to be knowledgeable of those things so that we can be in attendance to those things, or we can congratulate those people within our school communities. And so I think it's important that we're noticed. Is there anyone that has concerns or additions to number 6? Okay. Oh, Jeannie's talking. Maybe Jeannie's not
I
talking.
was just going to say no.
Okay. Thanks, Jeannie. All right. Number 7 is brand new. I think it's important that we don't name schools after anyone that's officially active as an elected official or has been in the recent term of 5 years for the last day of their term. And so that's a new addition as well. So are there any concerns about number 7 because it's brand new? Do you think, or if you think 5 years is not long enough or too long, you're welcome to tell me that as well. Okay. Number 8 is similar to what we've had in the past, that basically no two facilities of the school system, shall be given the same name, and that care should be taken to avoid similar names. We've had that issue in the past, as I'm sure we all can think of examples of schools that have similar names. So I think we need to be more intentional about it. So it's still in the policy. And then Jamal, do you mind scrolling up to where number 9's at the top?
Ms. Elrod?
Yes.
You don't mind me interrupting just a moment?
No, please.
I think in 8, probably that reads a little, I've had some feedback that reads a little confusing, and I think that maybe the second not or the first not is either no two facilities shall be given the same name or two facilities shall not be given the same name. So we need to either drop the no or drop the not.
Got it. I have written that on mine. I will resend, of course, with any suggestions from my colleagues. Thank you. No, that's helpful. Thank you. Okay. And then number 9 is brand new. I think that we, like I said, need to be more intentional about the schools that we are, about the names that we choose for our schools. And so I wanted to put it into policy that we are to consider the diverse communities that are all around our city, and that strong consideration should be given to the names of women and members of what are considered minority communities so that they're more equitably represented among our school names. Obviously, I think to most of us, the majority of our school names are white men. And so there's not women schools, there's not many minority schools. There are some, but the majority are for men and for white men. And so I think that there needs to be more specific consideration so that it's more equitable among the diverse communities that we represent. And so is there any feedback on number 9 because it's brand new? Okay. Well then, Jamal, if you'll scroll up to where number 10's at the top. There you go. Thank you. So number 10 is about the renaming of any schools, and it's basically if we're able to rename any schools, that the guidelines that we just stated in that policy would apply to these new names. So in essence, if we're able to rename them, then we have to follow the same rules as if it's a brand new school, as we just discussed. And so number 11 says that for new and existing facilities of the school system, we reserve the ability to approve or reject proposals for, and then we have those listed there. Some of this is new, like the erecting of memorials in forms of plaques or monuments. So is there any changes to 10 or 11, since they're about if we're able to rename a school, the criteria that we would have to follow under, and then what we would reject or approve proposals for as a board? Okay. And then 12 is if a facility of the school system is named for a person and has a website, which our schools do, as we all know, the website shall include a biography. So once again, that's how this all got started, was creating those biographies on our websites. And so it's basically putting into policy that those will be created and then be made available. And then, thank you, Jamal, for going ahead. 13, you can keep going. We're removing the building plaques. Some of that, it's not so much a removal as it's a rephrase, as you can see. So a new facility shall be formally dedicated during the first year of occupancy. And this is the same language from before, that the contract for new facilities include a plaque designed by the same architect, and that the plaque should include certain information. And so that information has always had a brief description of the name of the facility and the names of the members of the Board of Education serving at the time the contract is executed. And then I've added, if the facility of the school system is named after a person, a brief biography of that person that's approved by MNPS is included there. So once again, it's a brief description of the name of the facility, but then some more details about that person. Obviously, like we talked about in the beginning of this meeting, some of those descriptions will need to be cut down by a lot to fit on a plaque, but it's mostly to be intentional, again, about being upfront on who these schools are named after as we are naming new schools and why they were named, who they were named after, or what they were named after. So any changes on the plaques or concerns? Yes, Ms. May. Yes, Ms. Jeannie Pooper Walker.
Hey, not about the plaques. A couple of questions, though. What do we do if someone, a community member with a lot of money, wants to build or fund a school on the condition of giving it a certain name?
Let me make sure I understand your question. You're saying a benefactor would like to build a school for us.
Mm-hmm. Or pay a significant underwrite whatever.
With the condition that they get to name the school.
Or they have a name in mind. Or a company or a corporation or a, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true. I had not, I would not say there's anything in this policy that that has been considered with that potential happening. So I would need to come up with something.
Yeah. I think universities have this problem, right, where somebody will say, I'm going to give money, and then you have to name the building after me or my wife or my grandfather or whatever. So we have to just decide. I think we have to have a policy. Something has to address that. I think the same is true if somebody wants to erect a statue or some kind of thing on a campus with a name or of a person. We have to decide what we approve or not.
Now that would be, Jamal, if you don't mind going up to number 11, that would be 11C. Thank you so much for the erecting memorials in the forms of plaques or monuments.
Okay.
So that would fit there.
Okay.
But I'm calling it a benefactor policy. Sure. That kind of, that consideration was not given. So I will work on that. Okay.
And it might fit here on naming facilities of any kind, right?
I mean, to me, it would be lumped underneath. I mean, Dr. Severe, I would like your input on that because you love policy. Do you think in this type of situation where we have someone that wants to either give us land or significant funding to put up a school, do you think that this would they follow underneath our policies as is, or we need to create specific language for that situation?
Well, it's either, whatever the board chooses, but I think this is kind of the logical place for that to live as a subset of, and maybe this is more, and you've titled this, naming of facilities, and maybe that title we need to maybe discuss expanding that title to, naming of school. I mean, you're almost getting into, as Ms. Pooper Walker referenced, almost a naming rights situation. And do we want to turn, any of our basketball gyms into the XYZ.com, gym, when XYZ.com, and I don't even know if that's a real company or not, it probably is, maybe has a track record that we wouldn't necessarily find appropriate for, one of our buildings. So I think this is a real consideration, as Ms. Pooper Walker mentioned, that universities wrestle with all the time.
But we have named academies. We have named and sponsored career academies. So I think that there's a precedent there. We have to think about how that happens too.
And that's something that probably needs to be at least acknowledged in this policy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That we have that, and how did that come to be, and maybe get some institutional knowledge about how those came about and what process was followed, and let that get codified in this policy and really memorialize that process through the policy. Because if it worked, for all our academies, it can work in the future. We just need to make sure that what we did back then is what we continue to do moving forward, if it was an effective process. Or if we feel like there were things about that process that need to be changed, it seems like a great time to fix it.
Mm-hmm. I think Ms. Donna Gilly can help us with that.
Certainly.
Certainly, and that's what I was going to add to the conversation. We do have that procedure through our academies of Nashville, and Donna Gilly, as you mentioned, Ms. Pooper Walker could definitely assist.
Okay. Okay.
Is that all right?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a different kind of a lens on this, I think. So I view the academies more as sponsorships, because those can change, right? So if a company pulls out of an academy and someone else decides to take up the academy, if we've got Sanska Construction doing something and they decide they can't afford the sponsorship, in the next year or so, and someone else decides to do that sponsorship, then that name could easily change. So I view those more as a sponsorship. It's like you go to a conference and some vendor is the sponsor for the luncheon and things of that nature. So when I look at a policy for naming of schools, even if it's somebody that's coming with, $1 zillion, it doesn't change this policy, right? So I think for for universities, that where that money comes directly to them, for funding all the time, they have a different driver, and their driver is we need those dollars, right? And so I think the spirit behind this policy, I thought, was to ensure that if we give the honor of naming a school after an individual, it is someone whose reputation, whose contributions are reflective of those that we would be able to, again, stand behind, give justification. We're going to put this information on a website. There is truly a connection between that person's life and living and their contributions and why we would choose them. So I don't know that, again, if it becomes a money thing, I still don't think that this policy, I don't think that they go together, right? I don't think they go together. So I don't think, again, if someone decides they want to build a school for us or underwrite the cost of building a school and has a condition about the name, does it change what we believe is right and the reason behind this policy?
I think I probably
that name go through a different venue because I had enough money to pay for it.
Yeah. I think I probably agree with Dr. Gentry on that. I mean, I had someone email me about, would it be possible that we could have a school named after like Amazon? That was their example. And I had said through this policy, no, that would not be possible through the way the policy was written, and that was not the intention. To Dr. Gentry's point, is that a separate policy that should be created for sponsorships and whatever we want to phrase it, or would it be, I guess, Dr. Sevier, should it live here, or should it live in a separate new policy?
I got to think on that.
Okay.
I don't have an off the cuff answer that is well thought out.
My gut is that it should be a separate policy, because the sponsorship or the benefactor, that potential issue would affect not only the naming of schools, but to the point of Ms. Jeannie Popa Walker is, academies being named after businesses that are willing to sponsor them, or, potential events that would happen, or I don't know. I think there's actually a lot of options there for what a business could potentially sponsor if they wanted to, the school fundraisers or whatever. So that might be, I would think, a different policy than for naming of schools. That's my gut. Is that would live somewhere else?
I think so. When you get into a sponsorship, it's a whole nother level, because then I think you have to consider certain conflicts of interest if there is one. Like then it goes into basketball teams, football teams. Like that sponsorship can start a whole new rabbit hole of itself.
Sure.
That I think does not fit into this. And then also, most of the time, at least in the private sector, when you do sponsorships, there's usually a lifespan to them in a contract. So I think that should be a separate policy or a separate consideration outside of naming of schools or naming of facilities, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
Ms. Sarah, I'd be happy to work with you on that.
Thank you. Well, again, colleagues, we're not voting on that in this meeting. That's not the purpose of this meeting, but I knew that because there were so many changes and because this has been, maybe not for you, but for me, it's been a somewhat popular conversation to be having with people. And so I wanted to make sure that we're all aware of, once again, no schools are currently been selected or identified for having their names changed. We are going through the process of writing those biographies, as I said, and those biographies will help guide us on if we think as a board that schools need to have that critical look taken, and if we need to go through the process of petitioning the state to have those names reconsidered. and that this policy will then guide us on any of those future renames or any names of any future schools. So if there's are there any other questions or concerns about any of that? And if not, I'll let us have a snack before our next meeting.
Ms. Elrod, I just want to say this has been a really well done process and really, really thoughtful. Appreciate all the time you put into this. It's really, really good.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Okay. Well, thanks, Jamal, for your help on organizing this, scrolling up and down. I really appreciate that too. And if there's no further questions, this meeting is adjourned. See y'all at 4.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.